Dr. Olivia Smith moved through the hallways of Station Delta 7 with calm steps. She carried a small datapad clutched to her chest. Machines hummed softly along the walls. Nurses and doctors walked past her, busy with their tasks. Olivia wore a simple uniform. Her badge showed her rank as lead physician. She had worked on this station for 5 years. She loved helping patients from many different worlds. At the end of the corridor, Olivia found room 42. A small sign read Containment Unit. She tapped the door panel. The heavy door slid open with a hiss. Inside she saw Koro. He sat on a metal bench. His skin was pale green. His eyes were large and dark. He looked fragile and thin. A row of tubes and wires connected him to monitors. And 4 bags. Olivia's heart tightened. Koro was an alien from the Zaruan species. They came from the Mist World, a place where plants and animals thrived in constant fog. The Zaruan elders had rare and unique biology. Koro was one of their last survivors. He had a disease no one had seen before. His cells refused to accept the normal healing treatments. Every time the doctors tried to help him, his condition grew worse. Olivia knelt beside the bench. She checked the readouts on her datapad. Heart rate was slow. Blood pressure was low. Respiratory sensors showed weakened lung activity. Olivia looked at Koro's small frame. She gently placed a hand on his arm. His skin felt cool. She spoke. In soft words, "Good morning, Koro. How do you feel today?" He did not answer. His eyes followed her, but he did not move. She studied his face. Thin lines ran from his eyes to his cheeks. His breathing was shallow. Olivia took a deep breath. She opened the datapad. She reviewed the treatment logs. There were pages of failed attempts. Every known medicine had little effect. The station council had grown tired of spending time on him. They called him an off-limits patient. His species had strict rules against special care. Olivia had argued for more tests, but the council's decision stood. A chime sounded outside the room. Olivia closed the datapad and stood. One of the station sergeants, Mina Blake, stepped in. She wore a stern look. Her uniform stripe was higher than Olivia's. Mina crossed her arms. "Dr. Smith," she said in a low voice, "council orders are clear. No more treatment sessions for this patient. Pack your notes and leave this case." Olivia met her gaze. She felt a surge of frustration. She had hoped for extra time. But orders were orders. Olivia took a steady breath. "Sergeant Blake, may I speak with the council representative?" Mina shook her head. "They have made their decision. You must comply." Olivia held her ground. "Koro's condition still shows potential for recovery. He reacts to a compound from his homeworld. That treatment might help. I need more time to test it." Mina's expression stayed firm. "That is not an option. The council must approve any new tests. They refuse." Olivia nodded, though her mind raced. She gathered her coat and datapad. She knelt again by Koro. "I will return soon with help," she whispered. Mina waited by the door. Olivia closed the metal door softly behind her. The corridor lights glowed in cold white. She walked alongside Mina to the council elevator. Machines beeped nearby. At the elevator, Mina pressed a control. The doors closed. Olivia felt the hum of engines as they went down. She held her bag tight. In the council chamber, painted panels showed maps of space routes. 3 council members sat at a raised table. They looked down at Olivia. The head counselor, Vance Embry, spoke first. "Dr. Smith, we have reviewed your reports. The Zaruan species is not covered under our emergency protocols. We must direct our resources elsewhere." Olivia nodded. She spoke in calm words. "Counselor, I understand the rules, but I believe this case can lead to a cure for many species. If we can isolate the heart compound in his cells, we might open new medicine paths." Counselor Embry leaned back. "Your personal hopes do not change the regulations. Case closed." Olivia felt her chest tighten. She bowed her head slightly. "May I appeal this decision?" Counselor Embry shook his head. "No, we will not reconsider." The second counselor, Ilana Reeves, tapped her finger. Dr. Smith, you are free to leave. Olivia stood, eyes steady. Thank you, counselors. She turned and walked away. Her mind whispered questions. Could she save him without permission? Should she follow her duty or her heart? The elevator doors closed behind her. Back in her office, Olivia paced. She stared at the records on her desk. Koro's file showed hope in a single line, the Zaruan heart compound. It glowed bright blue under a microscope. It might cure him. But that compound existed only on a remote planet over 10 light-years away. No approved mission traveled there. Everyone said it was too dangerous. Olivia looked at her reflection in a window. Stars shimmered outside. She touched the glass. I cannot watch him die, she said softly. She opened her drawer and took out a small star chart. She marked the planet where the compound grew. She studied the coordinates. Then she packed her coat, her datapad, and a small first aid kit. She slipped one last glance at her badge. She clipped it off and dropped it on her desk. Rules could end, but compassion must live. She left her office and headed for the hangar. Her heart beat fast. She knew the station alarms would sound soon, but she believed in her choice. Koro's life was worth every risk. Olivia stepped into the small shuttle waiting at the pad. The engines roared to life as she closed the hatch. She set the course for the mist world's hidden moon. Outside, Station Delta 7 watched her leave, unaware of the hope she carried into the dark reaches of space. Olivia's shuttle glided into the docking bay of Station Delta 7 late at night. The lights in the hangar were dim. She carried 2 small containers secured to her vest. She stepped onto the platform and saw Lucas Brown waiting. His black hair was messy and his uniform was loose. He looked both excited and nervous. You made it, he said. Olivia offered a small smile. I had to. Time is short. Lucas nodded and led her through silent corridors. They reached a restricted lab. The door panel glowed red. Lucas tapped a code on the screen. The door clicked open. Inside, machines hummed and screens shone. Olivia set her containers on a clean table. They unlocked one container and found glowing blue, cells taken from Koro's blood sample. The other container held a fresh tissue sample from the Zaruan heart, preserved during a brief visit by another. Shipped years ago, both samples were rare and precious. Olivia wore gloves. She slid on a lab coat. Lucas watched her work. Are you sure the council will never find out? Olivia mixed chemicals in a small vial. If they catch us, we lose our positions. But Koro's life matters more than protocol. I need to know how his cells react. She pipetted a drop onto a microscope slide and placed it under the lens. Together they peered into the eyepiece. At first, the cells seemed still. Then the glowing compound spread through Koro's cells, making them move and divide. It was the reaction she hoped for. Look, she whispered. They are healing. Lucas let out a breath he did not know he held. This could save him. He tapped on a terminal to record the footage. They ran more tests. Olivia added small amounts of the compound to cell cultures. Each time, the cells regenerated faster. She logged every detail on her datapad. The silent lab felt alive with possibility. She turned to Lucas. If we can extract enough compound and make a clear formula, we can treat Koro, but we need more. Raw material, Lucas frowned. The only source is the plant on the Mist planet. The registry says it grows in the northern swamp, Olivia nodded. Yes, we must prepare for a mission. We need supplies, protective gear, and a scanner to locate the plants. Lucas tapped commands on a terminal. I will download the mission protocols. We can modify a supply shuttle to look like it belongs on station. It will pass scanners. Olivia's jaw tightened. Let's do it. They worked through the night. Lucas packed containers and loaded gear into a storage locker. Olivia coded the shuttle's identification chip. At one point, the door hissed. They froze. A guard walked by and did not stop. Olivia held her breath. Until he passed. Lucas exhaled quietly. By dawn, they were ready. The small shuttle waited in a hidden bay. Olivia activated its engines. Remember the plan, she said. Lucas nodded. We head to the swamp, collect the plants, refine the compound, and return. Olivia smiled grimly. And save Koro? She climbed into the cockpit. Lucas followed. She closed the hatch. As the shuttle lifted off, Olivia glanced back at the station. It looked peaceful under the rising sun. Her heart beat fast. They crossed through the station's defenses under a false ID. No alarm sounded. Soon they were in open space. The mist planet's moon shone ahead, gray and shadowed. At the controls, Olivia took a deep breath. Set course. Lucas entered the coordinates. The engines roared as they jumped into hyperspace. Inside the cabin, Olivia and Lucas sat in silence. Each thought of Karo's frail body and hopeful eyes. They felt the weight of their choice. Olivia cleared her throat. When we land, we must move fast. The swamp is toxic and storms come without warning. Lucas pressed his hand to her shoulder. We will do this, Olivia. For Koro, she returned his gesture. For Koro, the journey took hours. Olivia reviewed the datapad and checked her instruments. The scanner pulsed softly. We are close, she murmured. Lucas looked at the screen. Blue blips marked glowing plant clusters. Olivia set the shuttle to drop low. As they descended, thick clouds of green fog swirled outside the windows. Visibility was low. Lucas activated external lights. The swamp surface appeared. Strange shapes moved beneath the fog. Olivia's heart raced. Prepare the suits, she said. Lucas opened a panel and handed her protective masks and gloves. The air smelled of damp earth and chemicals. They suited up. Olivia sealed her helmet. Lucas checked his radio. Ready? They opened the hatch. Cool mist filled the cabin. Stepping onto the swamp, they sank into soft ground. The swamp was full of alien plants. Some glowed pale blue. Olivia scanned the ground with a handheld sensor. The device beeped rapidly. This way, she called. They followed the signal through thick vines. They reached a clearing where tall, bioluminescent plants grew in clusters. Olivia knelt and gently cut a leaf. The plant oozed blue sap. She collected it in vials. Lucas moved from plant to plant, gathering samples. His gloves glowed under the sap's light. Suddenly a growl echoed. Olivia froze. She held her breath. Lucas pointed ahead. A large creature with slimy skin and spiky horns emerged. It looked hungry. Olivia gripped her scanner as a makeshift weapon. Lucas held a flare. The creature circled them. Olivia whispered, "Stay calm." She threw the flare to the side. It burst into light. The creature roared and lunged. Lucas dove to the side. Olivia fired the flare at a tree. The creature bounded after the light. They grabbed more samples and ran. Wet vines slapped their suits. The creature's roar echoed behind them. They leapt into the shuttle and slammed the hatch. Olivia powered engines. The craft lifted off. The creature banged on the hull before sliding away. Inside, Lucas panted. Olivia pressed her hand to her chest. That was close. He nodded. We got the samples. She looked at the vials. The blue sap glowed. Good. Now we refine it and make the formula. Then we go back to save Karo. Lucas smiled. We will, together. Olivia returned his smile. They set course for Station Delta 7. Through the viewport, the swamp planet faded as they climbed toward space. In the cabin, hope glowed bright, just like the sap they carried. The shuttle dropped out of hyperspace and passed under Station Delta 7's outer defenses. Olivia sat at the controls. Her hands trembled slightly. Lucas watched the approach on a small screen. They will scan us, he said. We need to use the modified ID. Olivia nodded. She flipped switches and entered the false code they had installed. The shuttle glowed a soft silver under station lights. No alarm sounded. They docked in a hidden bay beneath the main hangar. Olivia cut power to the engines. The cabin fell quiet. Lucas opened his suit and removed his mask. We made it, he said softly. Olivia gave a small smile. Now we must refine the sap. They unloaded their containers and carried them to the same secret lab they used before. Inside, Olivia placed the vials on a metal table. The sap glowed blue in the dim light. She set up her equipment, a small distiller, filters, and a synth. Module? Lucas connected power cables. Olivia donned gloves and a mask. She poured the sap into the distiller. Steam hissed as the machine heated the liquid. She adjusted the temperature controls carefully. Lucas read from her notes. Keep it at 50 degrees for 20 minutes, then cool to 20. Olivia watched the gauge. Okay, we wait. They stood side by side. The distiller's light pulsed. Olivia turned to Lucas. This is the turning point. If this works, we can save him. Lucas nodded. I believe in you. She felt a wave of warmth. They waited while the machine hummed. When the cycle finished, Olivia opened the filter assembly. A clear blue fluid dripped into a vial. She closed the filter and labeled the vial. That is the pure heart compound. Lucas held the vial up. The light caught it. It looks alive. Olivia shook her head slowly. It is alive. It will teach the cells to heal. She moved to another machine, a microsynthesizer. She loaded the compound and programmed the dose based on Caro's weight and biology. The machine mixed the medicine and poured it into a syringe. Olivia picked up the syringe. This is very unstable. We must use it soon. Lucas tapped the needle guard. The council will notice if we stay much longer. They might scan our logs. Olivia closed her eyes and breathed deeply. Then let's go. They gathered their tools and left the lab. Outside the lab, Olivia paused. We have to reach room 42 quickly. Lucas led the way. They wound through silent halls. No nurses or guards passed near. The station seemed asleep. Olivia's heart pounded. After I treat him, he must rest under isolation. He could still reject the medicine. Lucas nodded. I will hold the line at the door. They reached the containment wing. A guard sat at a desk, reading a datapad. Lucas spoke calmly. Evening shift. We have an emergency. Dr. Smith is here to update the treatment plan. The guard looked up, tired. Olivia held her badge near the reader. It showed her old credentials. The guard blinked. All right. You have 10 minutes. He tapped a code. The door unlocked. Olivia and Lucas slipped inside. They found Caro lying on the bench. His breathing was shallow. His chest rose and fell slowly. Olivia's eyes stung. She knelt beside him and placed the syringe on the tray. This might sting, she said softly. She lifted his arm and found a vein that glowed faintly blue. She inserted the needle and pressed the plunger. The syringe hissed as the blue fluid entered his body. Lucas checked monitors. Heart rate is stable. The medicine spread through Caro's veins. Olivia watched the color in his skin shift from pale green to a warmer shade. His chest moved more strongly. Olivia felt hope rise. Suddenly the door alarm sounded. A red light flashed. Lucas's eyes widened. They know something is wrong. Olivia stood and touched Caro's arm. I must finish. She scanned the logs on her datapad. We need to keep the infusion going for the next hour. Lucas grabbed a spare syringe. I will help. Together, they set up a drip system using the compound. Olivia recalibrated the flow rate. Lucas held Caro's hand as the second syringe drained. The alarm grew louder. Outside, boots clicked on metal. Olivia and Lucas worked quickly. Caro's breathing grew deeper. His eyes fluttered. Olivia opened her datapad and recorded the vital signs. His heart rate climbed to a healthy level. His blood pressure returned to normal. Lucas tapped her shoulder. He is responding. Olivia looked at Caro's face. His lips moved. A quiet sound escaped. The door burst open. 2 council guards rushed in. One held a blaster, the other pointed a datapad. Dr. Smith, you are under arrest for unauthorized treatment and theft of station resources, the first guard said. Olivia stood tall. He needed help. Lucas placed himself between the guards and Caro. He is healing. The guard raised the blaster. Lucas said loudly, Do not shoot. The guard hesitated. Olivia spoke to the guard with calm authority. If you let him die, you break your oath as healers. Look at his vitals. She turned the monitor toward the guards. Numbers showed stable and improving signs. The guard with the datapad frowned. He does look better than before. The second guard lowered the datapad. Orders are orders. Olivia met the guard's eyes. Then make a new order. Caro's life is worth saving. The guard swallowed. The first guard glanced at the monitor. Counselor Reeves ordered no more tests. The second guard tapped his datapad. But the logs show he is alive again. The first guard lowered his weapon. Officer, stand down. The second? Guard nodded. Olivia sighed and knelt beside Caro. Rest now? Lucas placed a hand on her shoulder. She looked at him. He will need rest and more doses. Lucas squeezed her hand. Then we stay with him until the council decides. Olivia closed her eyes. I will not leave him. Outside the containment unit, the two guards watched. They spoke quietly. Counselor Reeves will hear of this. Yes, the other said. But he lives. That changes things. Inside, Olivia and Lucas tended to Caro through the night. The blue compound flowed slowly into his veins. Under the soft lights, his chest rose in steady rhythm. Olivia looked at him and whispered, You will survive, Caro, I promise. Olivia and Lucas worked through the night by Caro's side. Machines beeped softly as they monitored his vitals. His breathing was steady, and his skin glowed with a healthier shade of green. Lucas adjusted the drip, making sure the compound flowed at the right pace. Olivia watched Caro's chest rise with each breath. She felt relief. The first light of dawn slipped through the small window. Suddenly, a knock sounded on the door. Lucas stood and opened it a crack. Two council guards entered, their faces tense. One held a data rod, the other nodded at Lucas. Dr. Smith, Counselor Reeves requests your presence in the chamber. Olivia rose slowly. She touched Caro's hand. He lay still, but his eyes fluttered. I will return soon, she whispered and closed the door behind her. In the corridor, the air felt cold. Guards led Olivia and Lucas through empty halls. No one spoke. The station seemed to hold its breath. They entered the council chamber. The raised table glowed under soft lights. 3 counselors waited. Their expressions were serious. Counselor Reeves spoke first. Dr. Smith, you will explain why you treated Coro without permission. Olivia nodded respectfully. Counselor, I acted because I cared for his life. The compound from this species is unique. He had no hope without it. Reeves frowned. You disobeyed orders and used station resources. That is a grave offense. Olivia's voice stayed calm. I believe saving one life could open cures for many. The second counselor, Embry, tapped his finger. The rules exist for a reason. Resource limits and political risks guided our ban. You broke protocols. Lucas spoke quietly. But the outcome matters. He lives now. Reeves looked at the data rod. He tapped it. A hologram appeared, showing Caro's vitals improving over hours. The third counselor, Lynn, leaned forward. This evidence is compelling. Reeves turned back to Olivia. Yet your actions set a dangerous precedent. What if every physician decides regulations do not apply when they feel it? Olivia met his gaze. Regulations should serve life. When they fail to protect the vulnerable, we must question them. Compassion is the core of our purpose. The chamber was silent. Reeves studied her. Finally, he spoke softly. We will deliberate. You and your colleague will wait here. Guards led Olivia and Lucas to a small room nearby. It was plain, with 2 chairs and a table. Lucas sat and rubbed his hands. How do you think it will go? Olivia rested her head against the wall. I do not know. I worry about Caro while I wait. Lucas reached into his pocket and drew a small data pad. He tapped a few buttons and showed her the live feed from the containment unit. Coro lay still, eyes closed, but the vitals line pulsed steadily. Olivia let out a breath. He is holding on. Thank you. Lucas squeezed her hand. No matter what happens, you did the right thing. Olivia nodded and closed her eyes. She thought of Caro and the risk she took. She prayed the council would see his life was worth more than rules. After a long hour, a guard returned. Counselors will see you now. Olivia and Lucas stood and followed him back to the chamber. The 3 counselors sat in the same seats. Reeves motioned them forward. We have reached a decision. Dr. Smith, Lucas Brown, you are both relieved of your duties on Station Delta 7. You will be placed on trial by the Interstellar Medical Tribunal. Until then, you are under house arrest on your private shuttle. Olivia felt her heart sink. Embry spoke next. However, Council recognizes the success of your treatment. Koro's life was saved. We will allow further study under strict oversight. Lin added, and we will review the regulations regarding rare species. Your case will guide new policy. Reeves fixed Olivia with his gaze. You will remain under observation until the tribunal rules. Do you understand? Olivia bowed her head. Slightly. Yes, Counselor. They were escorted back to their shuttle. The hatch sealed behind them. Inside, Olivia sank onto a bench. Lucas took off his coat and set his datapad aside. Neither spoke. The shuttle felt small and still. Olivia reached for her datapad and opened Karo's live feed. He lay peacefully, chest rising. She closed her eyes and let relief wash over her. Lucas sat beside her. You saved him, he said softly. She nodded. That is what matters. He wrapped an arm around her shoulders. We will face the tribunal together. Olivia leaned into him. Yes, together. For the next days, they remained on the shuttle. Koro stayed in his room under careful watch. Station medical staff visited daily to observe and record his progress. Each report showed improvement. His skin color normalized. His strength returned. Through a window, Olivia watched him stand and take tentative steps. She felt hope grow. On the 7th day, a message arrived from the Council. It read, Council finds Dr. Olivia Smith and Lucas Brown not guilty of misconduct. In light of Koro's recovery and potential benefits, your actions are commended. Effective immediately, your duties resume, and you may lead the newly formed Xenobiology Task Force. Regulations will be amended to allow compassionate intervention for rare species. Olivia and Lucas read the message again and smiled. Relief and joy filled them. Lucas turned to Olivia. You changed everything. She shook her head. We all did. Koro's life matters. Every species deserves a chance. Lucas stood and faced the viewport. The station lights glowed in the dark. Olivia joined him. She placed a hand on the glass. I will continue to help those who need it most. Lucas looked at her. And I will stand by your side, Olivia smiled, hope shining in her eyes. Always. Later, they returned to the containment unit. Koro stood, leaning on a support rail. His eyes brightened when he saw them. Olivia. Lucas, he said in a soft voice, you saved me. Olivia lowered her head. You saved all of us, Karo. You gave us reason to change. He smiled and stepped forward. Together, the three crossed the room, united by compassion and hope. Beyond the station walls, new horizons opened, guided by the simple truth that life is worth every risk. Back on Station Delta 7, the Council's new Xenobiology Task Force formed under Olivia's leadership. But her first duty was to return to Koro's room. She entered the containment unit alongside Lucas. Koro sat in a hollow chair, looking frail but alert. His skin had a healthy glow. He offered a weak smile when he saw them. Olivia knelt beside him. How do you feel today? Koro reached out and touched her hand. His skin felt warm. Stronger, he said in a soft voice. Olivia and Lucas exchanged relieved glances. They had prepared a schedule of doses. The rare compound infused slowly. Koro's body worked to heal itself. Over the next days, Olivia observed Koro's progress. He began small exercises guided by Lucas. He lifted a light weight and practiced stretching. His eyes brightened with each success. Olivia recorded the data. His cells regenerate at twice the normal rate, she noted. This compound is more powerful than we thought, Lucas nodded. We must study it carefully. One morning, the Council summoned Olivia. She and Lucas walked through the corridors to the chamber. They found Counselor Reeves waiting alone. He stood and bowed his head. Dr. Smith, your work with the Zeruan compound shows promise. We wish to discuss field trials and publication of your research. Olivia's heart raced. Thank you, Counselor. I am ready, Reeves gestured to a holodisplay. It showed charts of cell growth and treatment outcomes. We plan to test the compound on other species under controlled conditions. Your team will lead these trials. Olivia studied the display. I suggest we start with a small animal model before human or alien volunteers. We need caution. Reeves watched her. Agreed. Safety is our priority. You will have full support. But we also face a critical decision, how to share this compound. With worlds in need, Olivia thought for a moment, we can establish a distribution network. Small doses could be sent to frontline stations dealing with rare diseases. We should train local physicians. Reeves nodded. Make it so. You have authority to form those teams. Olivia bowed. I will not disappoint you. As she left the chamber, Lucas joined her. This will change medicine across the galaxy, he said quietly. Olivia smiled. Yes, it will. They hurried back to their lab, excitement in their steps. Late that evening, Olivia visited Caro again. He sat by the window, looking at stars. Curious? He said, how one human breaks every rule for my life. Olivia sat beside him. No rule is greater than saving life. You showed us that. Coro closed his eyes and breathed deeply. I will return to my people. They must know of your kindness. Olivia placed a hand on his shoulder. We will send messages. Your recovery is a beacon of hope. Coro opened his eyes and smiled. A week later, Olivia and Lucas prepared to leave on another mission. The station bay hummed with activity. Supply. Modules lifted and shuttle engines warmed. Olivia checked her suit and gear. Lucas monitored the shuttle systems. He turned to her. Next stop, frontline outpost Juno 9. They treat injured miners from the ice moon. They need this medicine. Olivia nodded. Let's go. They boarded the shuttle and sealed the hatch. As the shuttle departed, Coro watched from the bay window. He called out, Safe travels, friends. Olivia waved through the viewport. Safe travels, Coro. The engines lighted and they rose into space. Olivia felt a calm determination. Their work was not over. During hyperspace travel, Olivia reviewed mission data. The outpost faced frostbite-like injuries that resisted normal treatments. The compound might heal tissue damage. We must adjust the dose for human patients, she said. Lucas studied the specs. I will program the synthesizer. We will test on medical drones first, Olivia smiled. Good plan. Caution first. When they arrived at Juno 9, the station manager, Nurse Tanya Reed, met them. She guided them to the medical wing. 2 patients lay on beds, miners with frost injuries on their hands and feet. Their skin was pale and cracked. Olivia set up the infusion system. She explained to Tanya, we will test small doses tonight. If they show improvement, we can increase levels tomorrow. Tanya nodded. I trust your judgment. Olivia prepared the medicine. She infused the first patient's drip. Lucas monitored vital signs. The patient's fingers twitched. Hours passed. Olivia and Lucas watched the data. The tissue warmed and showed renewed blood flow. Tiny movements began. The miner opened his eyes and flexed his fingers. I feel warmth, he said. Tanya smiled. This is a miracle, Olivia's eyes glimmered. We will study more trials. But this is hopeful. Lucas added, your station can request more doses if you need them. Tanya clasped Olivia's hand. Thank you for breaking rules to save lives, Olivia sighed. Saving lives calls for brave choices. Later that night, Olivia and Lucas sat in the shuttle's cabin. They sipped hot coffee. The stars glowed outside. Lucas leaned on Olivia's shoulder. We have done well. Olivia looked at the control panel. We have just begun. There are many worlds with unseen diseases. We must help them all. Lucas kissed her forehead. Then let's rest now. Tomorrow we will continue. Olivia closed her eyes. Yes, tomorrow. The shuttle hummed softly as it prepared for the next mission, carrying the promise of healing into the unknown reaches of space. A month later, Dr. Olivia Smith and Lucas Brown stood on the bridge of Station Delta 7 outside the viewports. New ships arrived carrying researchers and supplies. Olivia's task force had grown. They prepared to send medical teams across the galaxy, guided by the Zaruan compound's success. Lucas checked the mission roster. Teams are ready, he said. Olivia nodded. Today we launch our first fleet. Before departure, Olivia visited Coro in the medical wing. He sat by a window looking at the stars. His skin was a healthy green. He stood as she entered. Olivia, thank you, he said. I feel well enough to return home soon, Olivia smiled. You are strong now. Soon you will share this medicine with your people. Coro's dark eyes glowed. I will. Your kindness changed our world. Olivia placed a hand on his arm. You taught us compassion beyond rules. We will carry that lesson forward. Coro bowed. His head, may every being find the same hope I found. She squeezed his shoulder. Safe travels, Coro. He stepped back, then moved toward a transport waiting outside. Olivia and Lucas watched as the shuttle lifted off. Back on the bridge, Olivia addressed her team. Our first mission fleet heads to 4 worlds, Juno 9, Nova Sigma, Tal Orin, and Verditar. Each outpost faces diseases we have never treated. You will train local staff and set up distillers for the compound. Remember to follow safety protocols. And remember why we do this? To save lives? The team cheered softly. Lucas approached Olivia. Your speech was inspiring. She looked at him. We have done much, but more awaits. These ships carry hope into darkness. He nodded. I am proud to stand by you. They shared a quiet moment. As the fleets departed through the docking bays, Olivia felt a mix of relief and excitement. Finally, it was time to see the impact of her work. Weeks later, Olivia received messages from the outposts. The results exceeded expectations. On Nova Sigma, a plague affecting bird-like creatures reversed in days. On Talor, a fungus poisoning. Locals cleared quickly. Verditar's children with developmental disorders showed new growth. The news filled Olivia's office screen. She smiled, tears in her eyes. Lucas entered with 2 cups of tea. Good news? He asked. Olivia nodded. Better than we hoped. Lives saved everywhere. Lucas hugged her. You changed the galaxy? Olivia sipped her tea. No, we all did. Compassion changed us. They embraced. One evening, Olivia walked the station halls alone. She passed room 42, now empty. She paused and touched the door. Memories of Coro's struggle came back. She whispered, Thank you for teaching me how to care. A guard walked by and nodded respectfully. The door remained sealed as a memorial room for the Zuran research. Olivia reached her office and sat at her desk. She opened a window view. Stars glittered against black space. Her datapad glowed with new mission requests. She tapped a new world name and smiled. Her work would never end. Suddenly, an alarm sounded on her pad. A message scrolled. Unknown vessel requesting medical aid in neutral zone. Olivia's eyes widened. She tapped Lucas's come. Lucas, we have a new call? Moments later, he appeared. Another mission? Yes, Olivia said. Let's prepare, Lucas grinned. Lead the way, Doctor. Olivia stood. To every corner of space we bring hope. Lucas opened the shuttle bay door. Olivia followed, her heart steady with purpose. The shuttle launched into starry depths. Inside, Olivia reviewed the coordinates and mission details. Her face was determined. This call might be dangerous, but compassion guided her. She touched the console, set course for the neutral zone. Outside, space stretched endlessly. The shuttle sped toward the unknown. Dr. Olivia Smith and Lucas Brown sailed forth, defying every rule, led by hope to save the suffering. Their journey continued, bearing the promise that no life was beyond care.